Hey, good morning from Seattle, Washington. I'm Robin Fritz, and today it's Coffee and Cosmos with Robin. So, today I want to talk a little bit about finding comfort in tough times, which we've all experienced. And I also want to open things up for questions and answers from you, sharing opinions and ideas. That's what we're here for. And we're going to do a quick meditation with Fallon. We'll also do a crystal of the week. So let's get started. So, welcome again, Coffee and Cosmos with Robin. My name is Robin Fritz. I'm an intuitive and spiritual consultant and certified past life regression specialist based in Seattle, Washington. I'm the host of the Om Times radio show, The Practical Intuitive, which airs the first and third Mondays of the month. Today, we'll be talking about how to talk with your animals. And I also have a column with Om Times Magazine called Living Intuitively, which just started this month. So let's talk about finding comfort. Also, chime in with questions you have or comments on subjects, whatever it is you'd like to chat about. But as we get started today, here's Fallon. Citrine Lemurian quartz. So let's take a moment to get grounded and balanced here in the community, wherever you are in the world, whatever time of day it is for you. So Fallon is an ancient healer and truth bringer, quite beautiful. You can see the planes inside him. He's also very heavy. So if you take your attention to the top of your head, we're going to just pull together mind, body, and spirit and create this sacred space for us to be in here together, courtesy of Om Times and Humanity Healing. So we're going to just clear ourselves quickly. So breathing down from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet, just let go of the cares of the day. And as we move back up from the bottom of the feet to the top of our heads, you can welcome in Fallon's healing energy. You may notice it as a gold light, or even see him as he really is in his crystalline form. So breathing down from the top of your head, down your face, your shoulders, your chest, your hips, your knees, and your feet. Just take a deep breath and just let go of the cares of the day. And now as we breathe up, just let yourself experience Fallon's healing energy up from your feet, past your knees, your hips, your chest, your shoulders, your face, the top of your head, your crown chakra. You may notice your crown chakra is wide open, which might make you feel a little lightheaded, but we'll close that down at the end of our broadcast today. So hi, chime in, say hello from wherever you are in the world. Trying to get my, all right, just keep chiming in. I'm trying to get my screen to move here. And again, if you have any questions or comments or quick reading request, whatever it is, chime in here. And we'll work together today and have some fun as we talk about this subject, finding comfort. So here's the thing. Last week I was really tired one night, and I was stretched out in my recliner and was, I don't know, getting ready to watch something on TV or read a book. And I was exhausted, and I was thinking, wow, we're all tired at the end of the day, and some days we are disappointed. Some days are just harder than others, and sometimes it seems like they're too hard. We don't sleep or eat right. We're overworked. We get disappointed in our friends, ourselves, our family members. The news seems to be all bad, and we go like, oh my gosh, just what's the point? And I'll point to myself as an example of sometimes we just, aren't our best. And I have a most beautiful animal family. My dog, Ollie, and my cat, Karis, are reincarnations of their previous beings, I guess you say. And as much as I love Ollie, he's a whiner. And when he wants attention, he starts whining and it escalates to ear-piercing volumes. And I was trying to do something, and I had somebody here trying to help me put a blind up, and his whining just escalated. And I turned to him and I yelled, "Shut up." And of course, he shut up immediately. And I hurt his feelings and I hurt my own because I was like mad at him. And then you have to laugh and go, okay, I'm sorry, I hurt your feelings. I was out of line. And they understand that. But the point is that sometimes we need to find comfort in our own actions, that we disappoint ourselves. And sometimes the world just seems to disappoint us. We're overwhelmed, and it's like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do about it? So as I was sitting in my chair reflecting on the things that I could do better or just how tired I was, um, I looked across the street, and there's a telephone pole across the street. And over the years, the flickers, which are a type of woodpecker, had drilled holes in the condo. I call it the pole condo, the telephone pole condo. They drilled a series of holes that they enlarged over the years, and they've raised a succession of flicker babies on different levels. And so that's why I call it a condo. And towards late spring, early summer, you'll see all these little baby flicker heads sticking out and looking at the world around them. And those flickers have a tough time because the crows land on the telephone lines, and they're always waiting to make a snack out of a flicker baby. And so the flickers and the crows will go at it, fighting, for, the flickers to raise their babies and the crows to have a free meal. But that particular day last week, I noticed that there were squirrels all over the pole. And while I'd seen a few squirrels off and on in the late winter, I didn't realize that they had moved into the flicker condo and had raised a series of squirrel babies. So there were 4 or 5 squirrels racing up and down the pole and in and out of the various condo holes. And clearly some of them were baby squirrels. And I thought, oh my gosh. And then there was a flicker that landed and was going in one of the holes. And I thought, what are they doing? I didn't think that a flicker family could be raised in the pole with a squirrel family. And I thought, well, that's really good example of how maybe we don't try to get along, but how we keep moving forward in life. And I was watching them and I was thinking, they're very matter of fact. They're very much like, okay, I want to raise my flicker babies. I want to raise my squirrel babies. Are we going to get along or not? Who's going to win? But regardless of their difficulties, they were just going on about living their lives. They were dealing with life's ups and downs, and they had a lot of angst about it. And if you have observed animals in the wild and seen, like I have, bald eagles destroy a gull's nest and hear what the gulls had to say about that. I mean, screaming in the neighborhood to you, probably looking like, what the heck? They do have angst, just like we do. And they get upset when things happen, but they keep moving forward. And just realizing that and watching the antics of the squirrels and the flickers trying to decide if they were going to build a nest, made me stop and realize that sometimes we overthink our own issues. Sometimes we think that what's going on with us is the worst thing possible, even though we know we've had worse things or other people have. But I stopped and I went, okay, the flickers and the squirrels are having fun, and they're also going to have some tough times. And it just made me laugh, and it made me put my own issues in perspective. And that's just what I wanted to share with you today. My work is difficult in a lot of cases. I deal with people who are grieving the loss of loved ones in mediumship sessions or looking at tough decisions that they need to make in their lives, and I'm there for them. And I see the range of people's suffering as well as their great joys. And it's my privilege to be able to do that. And I just thought that, the news is kind of bad sometimes. We've had a lot of things happen, and that's life. That's what happens. And if you just take a look outside and appreciate what's going on in nature and observe what our fellow beings out there are doing, we can realize that the world continues to go on. And that just brings me a lot of comfort. And I hope it does you as well, to realize we can put things in perspective. We can have the worst day possible. We can lose our loved ones. We can lose a job. We can even lose our homes. But we keep moving forward. And that's really comforting. That's how I find comfort. And I just hope it helps you realize that sometimes life is hard, but we can appreciate how others handle difficulties and even learn something from that. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. Let's see if I can find questions, comments, anything that you would like to share. Marlene's chiming in from Alabama, Michigan. Cool, awesome. Nancy, you're exhausted today. Oh boy, Nancy, I can totally sympathize with that. Yesterday, I was going out with a friend I haven't seen all winter, and I was so exhausted, I didn't even enjoy myself. In fact, I had to apologize to her later because I was too tired to even go for coffee. So I ended up doing my chores, taking my dog for a walk, and resting in the afternoon so I could get back to a busy week. And, sometimes we just need to go, okay, I need to rest. And I did some energy healing, hands over the heart, just getting comfort from that, and made a good meal. So I hope that helps you with your exhaustion today. Hands on your heart healing is always great, but paying attention to sleeping and eating properly also helps. And it's okay to take time off. Marianne from Palm Harbor, Florida. Wow, that's cool. Kristen, Natalie, awesome, good. Thanks for chiming in. So the other thing I can bring up, one of the questions that has been raised lately, people in the Seattle area, and I know pretty much everywhere it's spring, so people are trying to sell their homes. And there's been a lot of angst over needing to sell a home and move out. And people go like, what do I do about it? And one of the things is to invite your home to call a new family to it and to relax around the process. A lot of the times, whatever we're going through, and this applies to this topic today of finding comfort, we cling so much to what we feel is wrong that we don't allow the energy to flow around us. And that's what the flickers and the squirrels reminded me of that day. I was sitting there tense and exhausted, and what I needed to do was relax. And in that instance, it was funny watching the squirrels popping in and out of the different holes and hanging out on top of the pole. And I don't know if they were trying to figure out how many squirrels they could fit on the top of the pole because they just kept piling on. And sometimes we just need to put life in perspective when it's tough, when we're exhausted, and even call a friend and say, hey, what's up? What's going on? You want to get together for coffee, and then do it on a good day. So the other thing that I've discovered, and I think, if you've chimed in before, that we are really serious all the time, and we're working really hard to be our best selves. And it isn't always easy, but it's possible, especially if we stop and think that we really picked hard jobs when we chose human bodies. I talk to beings all over the planet and beyond the planet in different forms. Souls take so many different forms: trees, animals, hurricanes, buildings. We've talked about the fire at Notre Dame Cathedral and how the soul that was in that building left, and so a new soul will be coming in. And realizing that we're really growing our souls fast and hard when we take human bodies. So I hope that boosts you up a little bit today to go like, oh yeah, we think we agonize over things, and that's what humans do. And that's what we're learning as we go through the process of learning to love ourselves, to love the world around us, which means accepting ourselves and all our faults, apologizing to your loved ones, including your dog and your cat when you yell at them like I did the other day, and understand that we're not perfect and nobody expects us to, except maybe our moms and dads and maybe ourselves sometimes, but it's going to be okay. Learn from our experiences, hard or easy. It's all part of the eternal process of our souls learning to love ourselves. So let me move on to the crystal of the week here. I'm having trouble moving the comments. Okay. Humanity Healing, Thomas, is the spiritual end of Om Times. If Liani's on, she can type in an answer for that, but you have the page there that describes it. And pretty amazing group of people that are intent on really bringing love and healing to the planet. And healing is something that we all need to choose. And sometimes it isn't easy. So Natalie, you need to commit to a decision instead of waffling. Boy, I get that one. So here's a process that you can do. And Crystal of today will help with that. You need to do something, take time to actually create a ritual around it, which helps you focus on your intention. And that ritual could be as simple as sitting down with a crystal, a flower, or just the thought in your head of creating a peaceful place. Sea salt around really helps clear stuck energies. Invite your spiritual team to come in and support you. Say, this is the issue I need to make a decision on. These are the pros and cons. And how do you feel about those issues? And allow your intuition and your healing abilities to inform you. Because you could sit down ahead of time and make a list. What are the pros and cons of this decision? What could happen? Knowing what could happen if I make a mistake? What could happen if it goes right? What is it that I really want from that? And allow your soul to speak to you, which is, partly your intuition and partly your soul itself. And ask your spiritual team, too, to support you in your decision making. Then move forward on the decision that feels best to you, however your intuition works. And hands on your heart, healing, and then get up and walk away from it. Whatever decision you made, move forward on that. And then learning how your intuition works is keeping track of those decision-making skill sets that you've created. So get a notebook, write down what it is that you need to make a decision on, then write down the things that came to you while you were thinking about that decision, what decision you made and what happened. Will guide you through that one, but also through future decision-making episodes, especially if it's an emergency. So you will know exactly how to go about making a decision. Rarely are our decisions life or death decisions. When they are, it's extremely difficult. I know, because I've had to make those for myself and for my family. And we need to believe that we're doing the best we can in that moment, and allowing ourselves to realize the sacredness of our souls and the limitations of our bodies, that it's possible for us to get so overwhelmed that it's tough to find our way through the issue. But the sea salt, the hands-on healing, the actual note-taking ahead of time to what works and doesn't work for you, or what the pros and cons of a situation are. Ask for guidance. Let your intuition inform you and go for it. And it'll work out. And sometimes it isn't always the best answer that you get, and sometimes we make mistakes, but that's all part of life, the part of moving forward and continuing to grow. And I hope that helps you, Natalie. So go for it. Okay. Okay. So Pamela, nature through the season teaches us that everything is cyclical. Walking barefoot on the grass and hugging trees grounds you. Yes, that's true. And I'm glad you shared that. I am very lucky that I live by the ocean and I'm outside all the time, every single day with my dog, walking, enjoying how the water changes, how the sea life and the bird life and the animal life around me changes. So I feel very fortunate in being out in nature every single day. And the more that we get out in nature, the better we get assimilated to remembering that we're one of many beings that lives on this planet and shares it. And I know that's hard if you live in a big city, because you're surrounded by buildings and you don't always remember that nature is part of us. And that's why I bring in, as you can see, bunches of, you see my cat was playing with the lavender up there, but bunches of lavender. And I have a gigantic jade tree that grows inside, and I have a very small deck. But in a 3 by 2 foot space on my deck, I manage to cram about 50 plants every spring and a few that live through the winter, all in an effort to continue that relationship with nature, bringing it in and out and appreciating it. So awesome. And thank you for sharing that. That's beautiful. Marlene says she's normally very active, but this weekend I was exhausted. You honored that by lying at home all weekend. Perfect, Marlene. That's what I did yesterday. It was just stretched out and relaxed, took my dog for a couple of long walks and rested. So you're very smart and wise. Hi, Renee, up in Ontario. Laman, you want to join your society? Hey, tune in here at Humanity Healing. There are several of us that do Facebook Lives every week. Plus, the people that run Humanity Healing are always putting beautiful memes or articles for you to look at. And pretty awesome in general. So we're essentially out of time here today, but I want to thank you for joining me. We're going to talk quickly about the crystal of the week. And this week again, it's been a long time since I've chosen basic quartz. And of course, you see Fallon, there's only one of him in the world, and he's pretty awesome. He's citrine Lemurian quartz, which is very rare in itself, and the fact that he's Fallon makes it even more rare. But quartz is pretty easy to find, and I recommend that everyone get some quartz, even a little tiny piece of it. Quartz is the basic quartz, is the basic crystal out there. It's good for grounding and balancing. It's good for inspiring us to keep plugging away and moving forward in life. It is good for inspiring us, for healing. It's a basic, good all-around crystal. If you're looking for serious grounding and balancing, I always recommend columbite. A lot of people like black tourmaline. I think columbite is better. But if you're going to go for just one crystal, I would go for a small piece of quartz, carry it around in your pocket. I recommend zipping up a pocket or using a pouch, because my crystals at least like to climb out of my pocket and go on little journeys. And it annoys me when they don't come home. So I keep them together by making sure that if they're going to go exploring, I know when they're going exploring, which I know sounds weird, but if you carry crystals around, you'll know what I'm talking about. They're very creative and interested little beings, and they like to travel. So quartz is really your all-around go-to crystal for just about any need. It comes in every form. In fact, pretty much every crystal is quartz of some kind. But you've got clear quartz, you've got colored quartz, different colors. They claim respond to different chakras. But I say go for the quartz that appeals to you. If you go online, find a good dealer. My friend Kim Belines at Earthlight Rocks and Gems in Kirkland, Washington has an Etsy site where you can see all kinds of crystals and know that they're sold by a person who really makes sure that they're well taken care of. And invite them to partner with you. What I would urge you not to do is not to get, like there are a lot of crystals that people use as, oh, okay, my mind went blank. I'm trying to say pendants. I'm trying to say dowsing pendulums. There we go. Crystals for pendulums, and they're pointed. Don't wear those around your neck. As you can see, my crystals are all a round of some sort that keeps the energy moving around, but a crystal that's pointed, what you'll end up doing is stabbing your energy body with a crystal that's sharp and pointed that you wear around your neck. So I always cringe when I see people doing that. So don't wear pointed crystals around your neck. Use them as pendulums or use them as part of your healing toolkit and holding them and using them for whatever clearing work that you're doing. So that is it for today. This afternoon is my radio show. I am talking about how we can talk with our animals on our own, how hard it is even for those of us who are professional animal communicators to talk with our own animals. So I'll have lots of stories to share with you this afternoon about that, and tips on how you can communicate with your own animals. And if you practice these techniques on a regular basis, you'll have a heads up if something's wrong. If they're ill or something's upsetting them, you will have a better handle on that as you get to understand how your animals respond to you. So tune into that this afternoon. And if you'd like to work with me, I offer personal and business intuition, mediumship, animal communication, space clearing, past life and between life regression, and a process I call soul progression clearing, which just clears out the blocks, whatever's holding you back, and then fills you up with healthy energy. It's an amazingly powerful way of getting us renewed and moving forward. Life is tough, but it can also be fun, as I was talking about today, watching the squirrels. So I hope that this time together has inspired you to go out and dig deep into what you're interested in and how to get what you want in life and move forward, because the world needs each of you. The world, you matter to the world, and what you're doing in the world to move forward is important. It's valuable, and you're valuable, and never forget that. Okay? So, hands on your heart. Take a deep breath. Feel yourself get grounded and balanced back into your body. Closing down that crown chakra. It sometimes makes you a little dizzy when connecting to Fallon. You can connect to me at my website, robinfritz.com, for questions, comments, subjects you want to talk about in the future. If you like this broadcast, please like the Humanity Healing page, the Om Times page, and my page, The Practical Intuitive. It helps us keep going and continue to serve you and all of us, making the world what it should be, a collaboration of equals with all life. So take care, and we'll see you next week. Tune into my radio show this afternoon at 2. I'm welcoming callers to share their stories about connecting with their animals. Take care. See you next week.